Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for watching. You picked a good one to tune into today because this video should be a ton of fun. I'm like giddy with excitement over this. I don't think I've ever been more excited than this to film a video. We've done some really cool stuff here on the channel, so that's definitely saying something. So let's just get right into it. So we're back today with some more non-lethal and less lethal weapons. Now, in the past, I have done a couple videos with less lethal. We played with the rubber buckshot and the rubber slugs. I've shot bean bags, and I've seen some really cool stuff over the years. But I've never put a tremendous amount of faith in less lethal, just because with most of those, you're relying strictly on the pain from that slug or rubber buckshot or whatever to bring down the bad guy. And I've seen too many videos of people getting hit with those and just brushing them off, and they continue on doing whatever they're doing. So I've always been really interested and intrigued by it, but I've never found a less lethal weapon or shotgun load that stuck out as my clear favorite to use. And then I saw these, the Pepperball AR-15. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Pepperball VKS launcher. Obviously, it's a Pepperball gun, and as you can see, heavily inspired by the AR-15. And this thing feels amazing. It is so cool. So we're gonna talk about it a little bit, but first, I wanna shoot this. I actually have not fired this at all. This is gonna be my very first time, and I wanted it to be on camera with you guys so we can kind of react to this together. So I got some rounds in the magazine here. Let's see what she'll do. Oh my gosh. That is smoking, that steel. That's a lot more powerful than I thought it would be. Let's try to hit that plate. Dude. So I didn't even sight it in, and it's pretty much dead on right out of the box. Let's hit our barrel there. So first impressions, that is every bit as powerful as a lot of less lethal shotgun loads I've shot. Just how hard it's impacting our targets down there, that would not feel good. Plus you have the pepper powder that's in those balls that would just completely shut you down. That would suck to get shot with. Plus there is a velocity adjustment screw right here on the side of the rifle, so you can turn that up or down depending on how fast you want them coming out. But man, that was awesome. A little more powerful than I thought it was gonna be. So like I said, this is the Pepperball VKS launcher. Full disclosure, this was sent to me by Pepperball for the video. I didn't have to buy it, but they didn't tell me to review it positively or anything. They just said they wanted me to try one of their Pepperball guns, and of course, I said absolutely. So first impressions right out of the box, and everyone that I showed this to had the exact same reaction when they picked it up, and that is the quality of this thing is very apparent as soon as you pick it up. You guys know I'm a sucker for high quality guns. That's probably why I have so many expensive guns, but you can just tell when you pick this up that it is really well made. Now, obviously those are my first shots, so I can't speak to the reliability, but if it works like I think it will, then the quality on this is gonna be really hard to beat. They actually do have government contracts, and they provide these to law enforcement all over the country, and there's a reason that they go with these, I'm sure, because they are really well made. So just a quick look at it. The barrel is obviously much different than a real AR-15 barrel, a lot thicker, and you can even see the little markings on the side of the barrel there, and you can actually push this barrel in and rotate it different ways. One of them is to disassemble the gun, and the other two are different feeding systems. So you guys see the magazine that I have in it here. It comes with two 15-round magazines, but they also have a hopper attachment right here. So just like a paintball gun where you can put a hopper on the top and fill that up with 100 or 200 or however many pepper balls you can fit in a hopper. But that is what the other marking on the barrel is for. Now, they sent me this big old tub right here of practice rounds. I think there's like 300 or 400 of them in here, and if you look at them, they just kind of look like paintballs, but when you squeeze them, they don't feel like paintballs. I think they would hurt a little more than a paintball, I'll put it that way. So they actually make different kinds of projectiles as well. From what I saw, they have these, the balls, and then they also have these ones that are kind of shaped like shotgun slugs. I can't remember the name of them, but apparently those are really good for longer range, and they give you more distance out of your Pepperball launcher. They also have glass breakers, so if you were in a situation where someone's in a car and you need to gas them out of there, you could break the window and then send some hot sauce in behind it and hopefully get them out of that car. But the website in general is just full of really cool stuff. Links for all this will be in the description, of course. Since it's less lethal or non-lethal, I can actually link it in my description box for once. I don't think I've ever been able to do that before. So all this stuff will be in the description box below. But yeah, we have the rotating barrel for the hopper or magazine feed, and then going back, we have some pretty nice iron sights. They do flip up and down, so you can get them out of the way. And then it has a quad rail on it that I swear this is a real AR-15 quad rail. This thing is metal. There's really not any plastic on the gun other than the stock and the magazine, which is, you know, typical for real ARs as well. Going back, this is where it starts to get a little bit different. You have your magazine release right here. Same exact spot as a real AR-15. Like I said earlier, we have the velocity adjustment screw right there. We might play with that here in a little bit. The safety is also in the exact same spot as an AR-15, and the charging handle is as well. Now this is the difference. Obviously you don't load it with a bolt and bolt carrier group and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna pull it back because I do have it gassed right now. But basically you can see on the top of it, if you pull it back, that unseals the gas, and if you push it in, that loads it with the CO2 and pressurizes it so it's ready to go. The CO2 tank is hidden back here underneath the buttstock. The magazine, if you pull it out, you can see here where you load the Pepperballs right there on top, and then that thing on the bottom is to hook into the gas line inside of the magazine well. But I think that's about it as far as explaining what's going on with the rifle. Pretty much, if you know how to work an AR-15, you will not have a problem working this gun. It's almost identical other than the charging handle, like I said. So now obviously for civilians, a less lethal gun like this could be beneficial for 100 reasons. There's all kinds of applications and reasons why people might want less lethal, whether they can't have a gun in their car, they can't have it, you know, here, or they live in a state where there's restrictions. Some people just don't want to have a lethal option on them. It scares them and they would rather have a less lethal option. And this right here, as far as less lethal or non-lethal goes, I think would be about as effective as anything. Pepper spray and pepper powder is no joke, and that stuff really sucks to get hit with. So I can tell you right now, just the impact of those balls on the targets, I wouldn't want to get shot with it, but then you add pepper powder in there and you're really gonna be hurting if you get hit with one of these. So the civilian applications are obvious, but for law enforcement, if you work for a police department or a SWAT team or something like that, and you do not have a Pepperball gun like this, I would definitely be trying to get them, because the uses that you could get out of a Pepperball launcher like this are just endless. And all the situations that police officers get put in where lethal might not be an option, and they might be too far away for a taser. Sometimes tasers don't even work, people rip them out, whereas this Pepperball launcher, it has a range of like 150 feet, and you could really do some damage at longer range with one of these, where a lethal option might not be a good choice. And like I said, they do have a government contract, so police officers all over the country are using these, and I know why. Man, it smells like baby powder. I think these practice rounds are filled with talcum powder or something. Hey, if you need baby powder put on, I guess that's one way to do it. All right, let's pop another magazine in it and take some more shots. Think we're good to go? Man. I don't think we need to mess with the velocity. It is smacking the crap out of those targets down there. One thing I gotta say is these things look awesome. Look how cool. It looks like a yellow jacket with the yellow rail covers. These are just the rubber rail covers. You can take them off, obviously, and then put your other stuff on there. But I like it. I think this thing looks super sweet, and especially for law enforcement, it kind of designates it as a less lethal weapon. You know, in law enforcement, that is important. One thing I don't like about less lethal shotgun loads is it can be really easy to confuse that stuff. Like, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the orange pump shotguns that police use for bean bags and rubber slugs and stuff like that. There's a reason for that. So the yellow does kind of let you know, as well as the, you know, obviously different magazine, but you just can kind of tell what's going on and what everyone's doing with the yellow and the yellow buttstock and stuff like that. So, although they do offer different colors, you don't have to get yellow, but it's probably my favorite. Let's go take a look at the damage. Everything is just covered in white powder. That's hilarious. I read the Pepperball say they have a 12-foot cloud, basically, that they put off of pepper powder. So I imagine these practice rounds are pretty similar, but that's something to think about. You wouldn't want to use one of these Pepperball guns in like a bathroom or a small confined space and end up, you know, gassing yourself out as well. So that is something to think about. But you can see our impacts on the steel right here. They actually leave quite a bit of residue on the impacts, and we have some on our barrel down here, obviously. It's just throwing that stuff all over. I want to try to find a piece, here we go, of one of these shells. And you can see that that is really hard plastic. It's pretty sharp too. Definitely a lot harder than a paintball, which makes sense because with a pepperball gun, you don't want to have too many breaks in the barrel and not be able to trust this thing, because you could see how that would kind of mess up the shooter more than the intended target. I'm sure they do happen. And I imagine most of that would probably go down range if you did have a break in the barrel. But obviously you want to prevent that, and I'm sure that's why the pepper balls are much harder than something like a paintball. All right, I hung my soft body armor vest on my steel torso plate down there, and I got a couple more mags full of practice rounds here. I want to see how it sticks to that fabric. I'm just gonna dump the whole magazine on it. Oh yeah. You can do a lot of damage really quick with this thing. Just imagine how bad that would suck to be that guy. Mag change. We might be running out of air in this tank. Like I said, we didn't have anything in it to begin with, but I might have to change it out in a minute. I think that'll work. Wow, that's a big velocity change. That made a big difference. Obviously the stock doesn't fit over these big 20-ounce cans, but it's doing the job. So obviously this is the VKS launcher, which is one of the better guns that they offer, but if you visit their website, they have a bunch of cool stuff. One of them that really stuck out to me, and I actually don't have it, but I would love to try it out, is the flashlight pepperball gun, and it's actually the cheapest one that I saw on the website. So just imagine if you're a single woman or someone by themselves and your car breaks down at night and you just have that in your glove box, so if you have to get out and use your flashlight or get under the hood or change a tire or anything like that, and someone creepy pulls up, you're just armed with a pepperball gun right there on your flashlight, and wherever your flashlight beam is at is where your pepper balls are gonna go. So probably be really effective, especially for a lot of women that don't like guns or don't like to carry guns. Something like that would just be perfect. So believe it or not, the VKS launcher was not the only thing they sent me. They also sent this. This is the TCP pepperball launcher, obviously their pistol, and I gotta say, this is every bit as cool as the VKS launcher, and it's like less than half the price too, so maybe this one will fall more into some of your guys' price range. But I'm gonna be honest, I did test fire this the day that they shipped it to me, and I wanted my first shots to be on camera, so I brought the camera out and set everything up, and when I shot the gun, I was so excited that I forgot to turn the camera on. So I didn't capture the first shots, but it would have made a great reaction video because every one of us was just blown away when I fired the first round out of this thing. It is super cool. But like I said, this is the TCP. Obviously you can think of a million advantages that a pistol would have over something like the rifle. You could put it in your glove box. You could use the pistol in a lot of places that you could not use the rifle. Plus, like I said, it is quite a bit cheaper as well. So again, just like the rifle, it feels bomb-proof, just really well made. It does have a safety right there where your index finger sits, so that's in a really good spot. It also has the same velocity adjustment screw that the rifle has, and it does have a removable barrel. If you need to take the barrel out to clean it and stuff like that, you can do that. It also has a little witness hole right there on the top, so you can see if your chamber is loaded or not. But the coolest thing about the TCP, in my opinion, are the magazines. So these are 6-round magazines, I believe, and if you take a close look at them, you can just see like how well made they are and how nice everything is. These do take these smaller 8-gram CO2 cartridges, and I kind of learned the first time I shot it that basically one magazine of 6 pepper balls is basically a full 8-gram CO2 cartridge. You don't really want to reload more pepper balls into that magazine without replacing the CO2. So they give you 2, you can obviously get more, but you just put a CO2 in each magazine and reload them that way. So you can hear when I seat this magazine how it engages that CO2. So, all right, let's shoot it. Magazine reload. Man, they are screaming out of this pistol too. So you can see the pistol ain't no slouch either, and that's at about half velocity, so you could crank it up and get them going out of there pretty quick. Shoot our wood there. Try the plate. Right in the middle. I mean, that's a headshot at 15 yards with a Pepperball pistol. So I know what you guys are probably thinking right now. You've been shooting a lot of practice rounds, but where are the live rounds? So they did send me a couple packages of these. You can see they say Live X, extra strength, Pepperball rounds. They do have a regular strength and an extra strength. Of course, they sent me the extra strength, and I thought of several different things I could do with these. Obviously, the main one that you guys would like to see is probably someone get hit with one and see how bad it messes them up, but I'm not going down that road. Pepper powder is not something I feel like messing with right now because this stuff will mess you up for quite a while, and I don't feel like ruining my whole weekend for this. But we're gonna shoot a few of them at our targets here and see what they do. If it's anything like the practice rounds, I might have to evacuate the area because obviously I'm just standing in the same spot for several hours making a YouTube video, and I do start to smell the powder that's in the practice round. So hopefully this doesn't mess us up too bad, but let's see what they do. Boy, it's amazing how many of my family members stepped right up and offered to shoot me with one of these when I showed them this thing. I thought they loved me, I guess not. Put the glasses on for this one. Wish me luck. Okay. I will say those do stay concentrated a little bit better in the area where they impacted. Now, I could eat my words here in a few seconds and start choking to death, but the first shot I missed the steel, went into the railroad ties, but all the others hit the steel, and you could see that first of all, it hit super hard. I don't know if they're coming out at a higher velocity. I don't know if they're lighter weight or something. All that pepper powder just stayed right there. Definitely didn't poof up like the practice rounds do, so I think we're okay. Let's take a walk up. The problem with pepper balls is it's not only something you smell. If you breathe it in, it will screw you up. That's one of the reasons why I'm such a big fan of these Pepperball guns, because number one, you can see how hard the impacts are, which most people wouldn't want any part of, but on top of that, to have something as strong as extra strength pepper powder that you're gonna breathe in and get in your eyes and your face and stuff like that, it's about as effective of a long-range, non-lethal weapon that you can get. And that's why I'm such a big fan of these things. So honestly, my eyes are starting to tingle a little bit. I think we're kind of walking up into the impact zone here. I'm probably 5 feet away from where they hit. While I was talking, my eye just kind of started twitching, and I can definitely smell it and feel it a little bit, but really much better than the practice rounds. I was kind of concerned that because I could smell the practice rounds so much, they smell good, I don't mind it, but I was kind of concerned if the pepper was the same way, that making this video might be a problem, because obviously I can't make a very good video if I'm choking and gagging to death, but I'm right up here on it where they impacted, and it's nowhere near as bad as the practice rounds are. So that's good. That's definitely a good thing. You want that pepper powder to stay in that concentrated area, who you're intending to shoot these at, and not mess up everyone that's around. So, although it does smell a little spicy over here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is gonna do it for me today. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really wanna thank Pepperball for sending out these guns and allowing me to make this video. I think we have some more fun stuff planned in the future as well, because when I got the message from them and I took a look at their website and saw what they were gonna send me, I was like a kid in a candy store. I could not wait to get my hands on these and bring them out here. And what's even better than that, when I got them and opened them up, they were every bit as cool as I was hoping they would be. That rarely happens. So obviously the uses and applications for these Pepperball guns with civilians and especially law enforcement are just endless. And we went over a bunch of those earlier. Now, they're not for everyone. If you're not interested in something like this, then it's not for you. I'm not telling you to buy anything you don't want. But if you are interested in something like this and you like less lethal for whatever reason, I would absolutely tell you to go this route, and I guarantee you will not be disappointed. This is easily the coolest and most effective less lethal weapon that I've ever got to test. So not only do they work, but they're also a lot of fun to shoot. So once again, I want to thank Pepperball for sending this stuff out. I had an absolute blast making this video today. This isn't sponsored. They're not paying me to make the video or say anything specific, but they really are a ton of fun, and I'm definitely a fan. So links will be in the description. If you're interested in any of this stuff, you can visit their website, and it's all over there. You can go check them out. If you like this video, guys, as always, please hit that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Well, my bulletproof vest has seen better days, and it looks like it just snowed over here. I'm an idiot. I just went up there and slapped that bulletproof vest, and all that went straight in my throat. Wow. Yeah, that stuff works. Good grief.